Okay, Hip Hop Weekly All Access. This is Brianna, and we're here live today with some great electric holistic doctors. How y'all doing today, guys?
Hey,
we're doing great.
We are doing absolutely awesome.
Apart from the Brazil us, we're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, introduce yourselves individually. I guess we can start with you.
All right. For a light skin thing going on there. All right. So, Dr. Amsu.
Okay.
Dr. Amon,
Mr. Breaks.
Okay.
and we are Electric Health and Electric Food.
Okay.
So we are giving people a natural alternative to help to bring in a remedy or reverse or eliminate critical health conditions. So that's what we give. And we understand that the human body has to be a certain frequency of electrical charge in order to be healthy. So the human body can pretty much heal itself throughout anything if it's taken care of and it's kept electrical. So that's what we are presenting with our information, our meal plans, our supplements, just basically our whole life. When you say holistic, we have to cover everything. You know, the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you wash, the way you exercise, the way you breathe.
The amount of sun you get.
The amount of sun, yeah. So it's everything.
Okay. All right.
What it is that allopathic medicine,
Right.
it does not address reversal or cure. It doesn't heal people. To put it bluntly, there's no healing. So when you're dealing with, Western or allopathic medicine, it's all about management of chronic conditions or, management or treatment. There's no cure. In fact, the word cure is very taboo in the medical field. It's frowned upon.
Right.
It's very taboo. So our whole thing, what brought us to this was we wanted to stay away from just making money out of people by saying, here's something that you can live with your condition. Nobody wants to live with a condition, any kind of chronic condition, if it's metabolic or autoimmune, if there's inflammation and you can't get around, you're not efficient. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. So our whole thing is, okay, let's reverse that condition. You don't have to pop pills and be like, oh, you got a pain. Let's have something for the pain, but it doesn't get rid of what we call the etiology, the root cause. So the whole thing, when we do our research, whatever condition somebody brings to us, whether we know it already or it's something that's brand new, we do the research to find out, okay, what's the root cause? Is it toxic? Is it something that's caused by inflammation? Is it something that's going on in the body that has been caused by, pesticides? Or is it something that's caused by, injury? We find out the root cause, and more often than not, it's something that's biochemical. So we address that situation, whether it's a deficiency in a mineral or nutrient that the body needs to operate, or if it's a poison that's got in, or a toxin that's got into the body, or virus or bacteria. So we get rid of it through our herbal remedies. That's what Dr. Amon was talking about, Electric Food, which is our formulation, our supplement side of what we do.
And of course, we have a passion for it as well.
Okay.
All right. So we studied at the London University, and it was while we were studying at London University that we became disgruntled with the whole medical industry, because we quickly found out that it was about management and treatment and not about cure and healing. So we left out of that situation disgruntled, and it was through the likes of Dr. Sebi that we rediscovered our love for the pursuit of healing people. So while over here in this country we jumped back onto the wagon and went all out, studying herbal remedies
And one of the things, just to interrupt, was personal. Like my first patient or client, so to speak, was my father, who was suffering with prostate cancer. And just seeing how the traditional medicine or traditional medical world was treating him was appalling, So I interfered and I treated him and reversed his prostate cancer. So me doing that was not just something to help my dad out, but it was also it was also what's the word am I looking for? Confirmation that the body, once it's treated naturally, it will help to reverse any form of condition caught at a certain time. So me doing that, it just strengthened everything that we had in us, that was pulling us away from conventional medicine and what we was learning in medical school. That, the phrase is, if it doesn't kill, then they bill. It goes back to what Dr. Amsu was saying. They're not trying to look for a resolution or reversal. They're just trying to maintain.
Because I know a lot of people call, cancer like the silent killer. But I have relatives that died from cancer. Also, once it gets into your system, you can go through the chemotherapies and everything, and it's still eating people alive. So you're saying your approach is pretty much the best way to go about the treatment? Do people still have to go through chemotherapy?
No, that's right. Because
chemo is poison. You're actually poisoning the body terribly. Chemo is like napalm. You're basically letting napalm loose and it kills everything. It doesn't just go for the cancer cells. It kills good cells as well as bad cells. So it's a poison. So basically you're poisoning yourself and hoping that there's more good cells left at the end than there are bad cells. And even in that, they're not addressing the root cause of the cancer. When somebody has cancer, it's blatantly that there's something in the body, there's a deficiency of some kind of nutrient that is there to protect from toxins. So that is deficient. And if that is not addressed, it will always come about again. And there's things, what are the toxins, what we're talking about? It's your everyday diet. It's what you're putting into your body. It's what we're breathing in. Anything we ingest, we like to use the word ingest because that's what you eat, what you breathe in, what you drink, right? And this is the way our poison gets into the body, right? Either it's through the nostrils, or some people mouth breathe through the mouth, or through your skin. So, and this is the thing, right? A lot of people use, especially women, like nice fragrances when they put on their lotion or whatever. If it smells like, smell that, smells good, but that is all flavor enhancers and fragrances that are full of phthalates and plastics that cause serious damage to your internals. Serious damage. And years, and you're talking about years of something that we put on more than once a day. Every time we wash our face or our hands or whatever, our bodies, we put lotion on. So through the skin, which is the largest organ, when things absorb through the skin, they get into your bloodstream. So it's directly into your bloodstream. Whereas when you eat something, you have to go through the digestive tract where there's flushing and filtering that takes place to protect us from poisons. But something through your skin, it's terrible.
Interesting. Okay, because I know it's like there's no cure for it once it's once people
What, cancer?
What, cancer?
Right.
Well, let me just say this. Everybody, you see, there was an interesting debate, are you born with cancer or do you develop cancer? Well, when you actually know how cancer develops, it's abnormal red blood cells, meaning every 28 days you have a recycle of fresh, healthy red blood cells, and the body eliminates or gets rid of the dead red blood cells. Now, if that process breaks down, these abnormal red blood cells starts developing and breeding, and they start manipulating certain organs, and they set up homes, and this is where cancer starts spreading. Okay, going back to what Dr. Amsu was saying, this is when there's a
And when he says
malfunction.
breeding, he means multiplying, not mating.
Not mating, yeah, multiplying. So there has to be something that breaks down or not work or is working in a dysfunctional fashion in order for that development to start going left and you start developing cancer. Catch that at a certain stage, you can reverse that. Okay? Now, when you are at stage 4 and it's basically rampant through the lymphatic system, the kidney, everything is plagued, we're not going to say it's impossible. Okay? Because we've had cases and we know certain other people, like Dr. Sabi and other people that has catched it at stage 4 and reversed it. But what we would say is much more difficult when it's at that stage, you know. And again, a lot of people have done chemotherapy at that time, okay? And the amount of chemotherapy and radiation treatment you have to understand, that's like going inside a microwave and sitting down in a microwave and this big
That's radiotherapy.
radiotherapy. So
Radiotherapy.
burning is not just your cells it all destroys, it starts destroying your organs, the organ tissue. So the regeneration of organs is not taking place anymore because they're that damaged. When things get to that level, that's very hard to bring someone back from that. It's very hard. So we like to catch it early. You know, stage 1 to stage 3 is very then easy to reverse and eliminate and get things working.
Yeah, one of the problems what we have is that people come to us after they've tried everything else.
Right.
And then you're my last hope. And then they come to see us and it's like, a lot of the time it is too late because especially after chemotherapy, you've got very weak and compromised cells. And we have to get rid of the toxic situation, you know, legacy or the fallout after chemo.
The aggressive.
Right, it's absolutely aggressive, and it's only supposed to be for a short time. But some people have chemo, then they think, all right, it's real, you know, there's relapse, then they go revert back into cancer, more chemo, so their bodies are very weak. So part of reversing any disease, first stage is always detoxification. But when you actually create toxins or put toxins into the body to combat another toxin, now you've got a double situation. So that's why we don't like the allopathic method of doing things.
And I think what's important to add here as well is that, you know, our paradigm is really about preventative lifestyle, right? Because as Dr. Amsu was saying, people go online, they get to the last resort. You know, I get the phone calls. Sometimes they're scrambling around trying to find who to reach. They go to the website, you know, they'll find my number from somewhere. They'll call me. And, you know, I've had couples from literally all over the world calling and said, you know, their dad's got prostate cancer. He's, you know, stage 3 or 4. They've tried this, that, and another. What can they do? And then, so we're trying to scramble around to get them on a paradigm, or to get them onto a program that can, first of all, sort of halt the situation and reverse it. And as Dr. Amsu said, unfortunately, at a certain stage, all we can really do is prolong their life, right? And give them the opportunity or the hope that they can extend it because they've come to us too late. But the root cause of that is that they've been living a toxic lifestyle forever. So what we really preach is to live a preventative lifestyle, right? If you live a lifestyle void of toxins, you know, minimize the poisons you take, whether it's, you know, alcohol, whether it's smoke, goodness gracious, you know, processed foods, processed meats, the dairies. If you minimize the toxins you put into your body, the less likely you are to develop chronic diseases. So absolutely, we can talk about curing things all day long, but, you know, the best way to cure things is don't get it in the first place.
Prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, a lot of our programs are actually geared towards a preventative. Lifestyle.
Okay. Talk a little bit about your nonprofit foundation. How do you pronounce it?
Tamari.
Tamari. Mm-hmm.
So there's really, I guess, 3 arms of our business, what we promote, right?
Okay.
So Dr. Amsu, Dr. Amwin, for a long time, for a number of years, have been going back, sort of contradicting myself, curing people, working with people on their nutrition. Literally started out with family, friends, and then, you know, family members of friends. and that started to grow, and it came to the point that their phones were ringing off the hook, right? Help me, help my mum, and so it quickly developed into basically a business, right? Sort of a mum and pop type business.
Okay.
And we quickly realized that the actual, I'm going to talk very quickly about, you've heard of food deserts, right? So most of the world, we live in food deserts now, whereby we just don't get quality food, especially in inner cities. If you still eat meat and fish, I guarantee you the meat and fish you eat, if you live in a landlocked inner city, it's pre-frozen. Even if it's fresh in the fridge when you buy it, it's been in the freezer. There is no fresh produce, no fresh meat, especially in most middle America. Even some seaside resorts import fish from China and other countries. Mm-hmm. So you're not getting clean, fresh food. And why I sort of digress there is that a lot of people are not getting access to good quality nutrients, good quality herbs, and so their cells are not being replenished with good quality nutrition. And so we're having to find herbs that I'm literally all over the world.
All over the world.
China.
The most obscure places, Australia, New Zealand.
Right. And so what happens is when someone's suffering from an illness, sometimes what they need to help them sort of reset their body ends up being quite expensive, because they've not been living a healthy lifestyle for literally sometimes since they were born. They're 30 years old now, and they've got some accumulated disease because of years of eating meat, processed meat. In fact, meat they thought was good. I said, I'm not going to eat pork. I'm going to eat luncheon meat and turkey and sliced processed meat is processed meat. Some of the processed meats you get for sandwich meat is worse than the actual. You're better off eating pork than you are eating sandwich meat. Anyway, I digress again. And so what tends to happen is that we run into people that need help. We help them as much as we can, but they really can't afford to follow our paradigm. Mm-hmm. They're not used to it. If we tell them, listen, you need to switch to a plant-based lifestyle, first of all, mind blown, which is why we developed our transition meal plans. Where they live, they can't get good produce. They can only get. It's funny. If you go to most grocery stores, you go to the vegetable department. Have you noticed the produce is exactly the same vegetables and fruits in every single store? Mm-hmm. It's the same apples, it's the same onions, it's the same potatoes. So everyone, I don't care how fancy the store you go to is, you're probably getting the same quality produce. Again, point to say that a lot of people just can't afford now to correct that. So we found that we wanted to help. So whilst we're putting together our for-profit businesses, right, we're trying to grow this, and we'll probably talk about that a bit later on. We felt that we wanted to establish something that we could help evangelize our message locally, globally, mm-hmm. as far as people want to hear us. And we also want to do some outreach, because I'm telling you, they may not want to say it, but I've been with the doctors and we've been in a grocery store and people have come up to them and they've tapped, hey, are you Dr. Amsu? Listen, you don't know who I am, but I follow you on Instagram and you may not remember me, but my mum had such and such disease and this, that, and the other, and they start laying. And in the store, these guys are doing a consultation in the store. Mm-hmm. That's outreach, right?
Right.
But we can't afford to do that. We can't afford to be in the store. We got to go and help people. So to cut long story short, the not-for-profit was really to raise money so we can, raise awareness of our paradigms. We want to educate people around the country, especially African-American people, the underserviced, to change their lives, to take charge of their lives, which is literally one of our slogans. And we know people can't afford to do that, so we're hoping to raise as much money as we can so we can go on a tour. Shanti and Nina can take us on their tour, and we can teach people around the world
right.
better nutrition.
Okay. Well, you guys have provided some great information. Let us know how we can find you on social media.
Okay, so we have a number of Instagrams.
Okay.
My one is Dr_AMUN.
Okay.
All right, we got electric. Is it electric_docs?
Yeah, I can't remember it.
Go ahead, Mike. We have electric health, which is electric_health on Instagram.
Yep.
We have electric docs on Instagram. And we actually have Electric Health on Facebook.
Okay.
But honestly, if you really want to interact with us and learn about the organization, go to electrichealth.org. Okay. Because from electrichealth.org, you learn about us, you see our bios. We're launching a TV channel on YouTube. We've got a number of projects out there. But yeah, Dr. Amsu on Instagram, Dr. Amun on Instagram, and electrichealth.org.
Okay.
And yes.
PR ladies.
Yes, we do. Shantae and Nini. Which IG shall I give for you guys?
Oh, Shantae Lashley.
Shantae Lashy on IG, and she
And
is
she is
Mimi
Mimi.
She
on IG.
underscore is underscore me.
She's got a lot of underscores because she's like, she is underscore Mimi. I don't know. You'll find them. Trust me. You put it in, it pops up.
Okay.
I do it all
Okay.
the time.
Okay.
I want to say a big shout out to Hip Hop Weekly for having us, Electric Food, Electric Health. I'm Dr. Amon.
Mr. Breaks right here.
And Dr. Amsu. And we're the good old boys.
Don't